You could be the most stunning woman in any room, but if you ignore these 4 rules, a man will lose respect for you faster than you think. And the surprising thing is that these rules have nothing to do with beauty or status, but everything to do with how you carry yourself and how you value your own presence. Let me tell you what real high-quality men notice, and why women who understand these things get treated with a completely different level of love, attention, devotion, and yes, respect. You might wonder why some women are taken seriously from the very first moment they meet someone, why their words feel stronger, why their boundaries are treated with care, and why their energy naturally draws respect without them even trying. It is because of these 4 rules, and once you understand them deeply, the whole dynamic with men changes in a powerful way. What if I told you that the way a man treats you has far less to do with him and almost everything to do with how you treat yourself? That might feel uncomfortable, but it is the truth. Men reflect the standards you truly live by, not the ones you only talk about. In this message, we will look at 4 quiet but powerful rules that can instantly shift how men see you. But before getting into the steps, let's be honest with ourselves. Respect does not start when he calls, commits, apologizes, or brings flowers. Respect begins the moment you choose not to settle for anything less than what aligns with your values and emotional truth. Respect is not something you force out of someone. It is something you naturally earn through the way you move, think, and make decisions. And here is something few people talk about. A woman who respects herself teaches others how to treat her without needing to explain it loudly. Maybe you have been in relationships where you gave everything you could and received the bare minimum back. Maybe you were hoping he would one day realize your worth. But the truth is that men quickly notice when a woman has standards they cannot twist, manipulate, or bend. This is not about playing games. It is about awakening the strong, confident, feminine part of you that has been quiet for too long. The part that does not chase anyone, does not explain her value repeatedly, and is never afraid to walk away if something feels wrong. When you hold self-respect, you no longer need to beg for his respect, and that is when things start to shift in your favor. The woman you are becoming is done accepting disrespect. One of the fastest ways women lose a man's respect is by explaining too much. When you try to justify your feelings, decisions, or boundaries again and again, what you are really saying without realizing it is, "Please understand me, please don't get upset, please agree with me." That energy does not come from strength. It comes from fear. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of losing someone. But here is something powerful. A woman who truly respects herself does not need to prove anything. She shows it with her actions. She sets the tone by how she lives her life, not by long speeches. She does not need someone to approve her choices. She does not lower her standards just to make others comfortable. And when a man sees that energy in a woman, everything changes. Men do not fall in love with women who constantly try to show they are worthy. Men fall for women who already know their worth and never apologize for it. That calm confidence is rare, and men naturally respect what is rare. If you clearly say something like, "I don't accept mixed signals," and he challenges you or tries to argue, you don't owe him a long explanation. You can simply say, "That's not something I'm okay with," and leave it at that. When you over-explain, you unknowingly give away your power. You shift from leading your life confidently to hoping someone else agrees with your choices. And when a man senses that your boundaries can be moved, he stops taking them seriously. This is why it is important to stay rooted in your truth, even if it makes the moment uncomfortable or silent. Many women fear being called rude or dramatic, so they explain themselves again and again, trying to prevent conflict. But real respect does not come from always being agreeable. Real respect comes from being real, being honest, being aligned. Not everyone will understand your boundaries, and you have to be okay with that. Holding your ground without too much talking shows strength. It shows that your worth does not depend on someone else's approval. Silence can be powerful when you use it with purpose. You do not need to fill every moment with explanations. That quiet strength makes you appear more confident and more captivating. A woman who does not explain everything teaches people to take her seriously the first time she speaks. You are not in a courtroom. You do not have to justify why you want honesty, clarity, consistency, or good communication. These are normal standards. The right man will understand them without needing a long breakdown. And if he does not, you will walk away peacefully. No arguments, no drama, just confidence. So if you want to shift how men treat you, stop explaining everything. You'll be surprised how quickly people adjust when you stop shrinking yourself. Many women can feel when something is off in a relationship, but instead of leaving, they hold on, hoping things will change, waiting for signs, believing that maybe one day everything will fall into place. But deep down, you always know when something is not right. Walking away is not about revenge or proving anything. It is about protecting your peace. When a relationship stops feeling mutual, respectful, open, or emotionally safe, staying becomes a form of self-betrayal. The longer you stay where you are not valued, the more you begin to doubt yourself. That is when your glow fades. That is when your confidence weakens. Alignment is not about potential. It is not about what might happen someday. It is about what is happening right now. Is he consistent? Is the connection balanced? Do his actions match his words? If not, that is your answer. You do not need more time. You need more self-trust. Walking away when things no longer match your values is one of the highest forms of self-respect. It is saying, I won't stay where my soul is not valued. That quiet strength leaves a deep impact. When a woman decides that her peace matters more than her fear of being alone, she becomes powerful in a way nothing can touch. She stops accepting confusion. She stops settling for halfway effort. She stops lowering her standards. Men admire a woman who walks away calmly, without shouting or blaming, simply with certainty. When a man realizes you are not afraid to leave when your needs are not met, it resets the entire dynamic. He understands you are not depending on him for emotional stability, you are depending on yourself. And that is rare. Many women think walking away means giving up. But giving up is actually what you do when you stay somewhere that drains you. Walking away is what you do when you finally know your worth. It is choosing yourself even when it hurts. Almost right is still wrong, even if you care. Even if leaving is painful. If you stay where your heart does not feel safe, you slowly disconnect from the version of yourself that is meant to be strong, whole, and thriving. Every time you walk away from something that is not aligned, you open space for something better, something peaceful, someone respectful. Someone who sees you without needing to be convinced. Someone who does not make you question your value. If things feel off, if clarity is missing, if your spirit feels unsettled, do not convince yourself to stay. Do not accept mixed signals. Do not shrink who you are just to make something work. Your standards are not too high, and your inner voice is not mistaken. Too loud. It's guiding you toward something better. Your boundaries are not too much. The moment you choose to leave for the last time, not out of anger, but from a place of calm, you'll feel your strength return. And once you taste that kind of freedom, settling will no longer feel like an option. If there's one quality that instantly shifts how men treat you, it's emotional detachment. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means finding a peaceful space within yourself that doesn't get shaken by late replies, unclear intentions, or mixed signals. Emotional detachment isn't about shutting your heart. It's about choosing not to hand over your power to every passing feeling or to every man who shows temporary interest. Many women confuse emotional detachment with being distant, but it's actually the opposite. It's the ability to care deeply while staying grounded in yourself. It means staying open, but not needy, present without desperation, emotionally available without losing yourself. When a woman moves through life with this energy, everything changes. Men notice when a woman overreacts. It shows in waiting anxiously for his replies, overthinking his messages, or feeling uneasy when things are unclear. That kind of pressure doesn't create connection, it pushes it away. Now imagine a woman who is emotionally detached in a healthy way. She observes rather than reacts. She doesn't chase answers. She allows truth to reveal itself. She doesn't try to control situations. She lets alignment sort things out naturally. She knows that if a man is truly right for her, she won't need to chase him. And if he's not, no words or effort will make him stay. That level of self-control is powerful. It grabs attention. It earns respect because she no longer performs to earn love. She isn't trying to fit someone else's idea of what she should be. She's not addicted to fantasy or false hope. She's solid in her self-worth, and her emotions don't run the show. Here's a truth that might hit hard. When a man sees that you're emotionally balanced, that his on and off behavior doesn't affect you, and that you don't need him to define your value, his energy changes. He realizes you're not easily impressed, and if he wants a place in your heart, he'll have to show up consistently, not just say the right things. Detachment opens space. It clears your mind, allowing you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. When you master emotional detachment, you're not waiting for him to label the relationship. You're observing his behavior. You let actions speak for themselves. In that calm space, you see things more clearly. You stop accepting empty promises. You start aligning with truth. That doesn't mean you stop feeling. You still experience love, excitement, and desire. But those emotions don't control your choices. You don't let attraction blind you to red flags. You don't let hope keep you where you shouldn't be. When a woman masters emotional detachment, she stops forcing situations. She doesn't change her values to keep someone around. She trusts that what's meant for her will feel peaceful, mutual, and steady. Everything else fades into background noise. Here's something beautiful. Emotional detachment allows you to walk away kindly. You don't need dramatic endings. You don't have to prove anything. You can leave knowing you chose yourself. And that kind of choice doesn't make you unlovable. It makes you unforgettable. The right man won't feel threatened by your calm. He'll respect it. He'll feel safe knowing you are emotionally whole. Your presence isn't a plea for attention. It's a choice. So if you felt drained from caring too much, giving too much, or overthinking, this is your signal. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you love consciously. It means understanding that not everyone deserves access to your heart, no matter how charming they appear. Detach for your peace. Detach to recognize who is genuinely showing up for you. Once you stop reacting to everything, you reclaim what you've given away. There's a huge difference between setting a boundary and giving an ultimatum. Understanding that difference changes everything about how men respond. Ultimatums are loud. Boundaries are calm. Ultimatums try to force someone to change. Boundaries protect your peace. A high-value woman leads with boundaries, not threats. Maybe you've said things like, "If you don't commit, I'm done." Or, "If you don't change, it's over." That's an ultimatum. It usually comes from fear or frustration, trying to force clarity from someone when you already sense the truth. But if you need to push someone to get the bare minimum, their respect for you is already shaky. Boundaries, however, come from strength. They don't require dramatic speeches or shouting. They show up in your actions, quiet, steady, clear. A boundary might sound like, "I'm not okay with inconsistent energy." And when that behavior shows up, you step away calmly. No warnings, no emotional outbursts, just quiet action. When a man senses ultimatums, he feels trapped. He may pull away, not because he doesn't care, but because he feels controlled. But when he sees a woman lead with boundaries, it sparks respect. He knows she's not trying to change him. She simply knows what she will and won't accept. That clarity is rare and powerful. Most women resort to ultimatums out of fear. Fear of being hurt again, fear of wasting time, fear of not being chosen. They try to avoid pain by demanding change. But that rarely creates connection. It usually causes resistance. Leading with boundaries instead gives space for someone to show who they truly are without pressure. You simply watch. You don't chase change. You respond to what you see. If behavior doesn't meet your standards, you walk away quietly and confidently. That calm removal leaves the biggest impact and protects your peace. You're no longer stuck in emotional battles proving your worth. You're simply living your truth. Anyone who can't meet you there fades naturally. Men deeply respect women who lead with boundaries. Not because they are mean, but because they are clear, and clarity is powerful. Many accept inconsistency out of fear of being alone. But when a man meets a woman unafraid to leave anything disrupting her peace, he sees her differently. He knows she's guided by values, not fear. She's not looking for someone to fix her. She wants someone who fits her. You don't need to raise your voice to be heard. You don't have to beg for respect. Strong, silent boundaries speak louder than words. You don't need warnings to be taken seriously. What matters is being clear on what you allow and living in alignment with that. Ask yourself, what have you tolerated and called patience? What are you holding on to even though you say you'll walk away? What would shift if you stopped giving ultimatums and simply lived your boundaries? You don't control anyone else. You only control what you allow in your space. When your energy says, "I won't compete for a place in someone's life," you release yourself. You stop forcing things. You begin to flow. And that's when the right person will feel secure, seen, and motivated to meet you at your level. Lead with clear boundaries. Let actions speak. Let those who aren't aligned quietly exit. No stress, no pressure. Now consider women who live by these 4 rules in real life. This isn't theory, it's real change. Women applying these shifts are proof that self-respect, love, and peace come naturally when you choose yourself first. Take one woman, Sarah. She used to explain everything, her feelings, choices, silence. She always felt the need to defend herself. Whenever a man pulled away, she chased the conversation, trying to fix things or be understood. It left her anxious, unseen, and feeling like she had to earn love. When she stopped explaining and started observing, things changed. She let her actions speak instead of her words. She didn't send long texts. She didn't try to fix misunderstandings. She simply honored her boundaries. Almost immediately, the man she was seeing started appearing more often. He became curious. He started showing up consistently. The energy between them shifted once she stopped chasing approval. She became he one who chose, and he could sense that. Then there's another story. Let's call her Mirror. She had been stuck in a situationship for over a year. He claimed he wasn't ready for commitment, but acted like he was her boyfriend. She kept waiting, hoping, and accepting his inconsistent behavior. But then she followed the second rule. She quietly stepped away. No arguments, no emotional explosions, just calm, decisive action. He panicked, naturally, but this time, she didn't return. She simply said, "This no longer feels mutual. I won't keep choosing someone who is uncertain about me." That single choice didn't just transform her relationship, it transformed her life. She didn't just let go of him, she released the version of herself that used to beg to be chosen. 6 months later, she met someone who was emotionally present, steady, and genuinely ready for a real connection. She told me, "If I hadn't made space by letting go, I would never have met someone truly ready." Then there's Lena. Her growth centered around mastering emotional detachment. She used to spiral whenever a guy didn't respond quickly. She would question herself, overanalyze every message, and give away her peace without noticing. But when she learned to sit with her emotions without letting them control her, everything shifted. She began showing up differently, calm, centered, confident. The men she dated could feel that energy. One even told her, "There's something about you that makes me want to improve myself." That is the power of detachment. It doesn't demand, it inspires. And then there's Maya. She always set ultimatums, begged for clarity, pushed for commitment, warning her partner that if he didn't change, she would leave. But those tactics only caused tension. One day, she stopped threatening and started living her boundaries. When her boyfriend ghosted her for 3 days, she didn't react angrily. She didn't send a dramatic message. She simply stayed quiet. And when he eventually reached out, she calmly replied, "This isn't the kind of relationship I want. I wish you well." That was it. No arguing, no explanations. 2 weeks later, he returned, apologetic and willing to change. But by then, she had moved on. Her peace was no longer negotiable. These stories are examples of what happens when a woman steps into her power. Not by yelling, not by being harsh, but by being clear, grounded, and fully aligned with her truth. These 4 rules don't just earn respect from others. They teach you to respect yourself more deeply, and once that happens, the world responds differently. This isn't about being perfect, it's about becoming more aware. Every time you make a small choice for your worth, every time you maintain a boundary or walk away instead of begging, that's when change begins. You are not here to earn your value. You are here to live it fully. When you do, love meets you exactly where you are. If you're still listening, you already know this isn't a game, it's a transformation. Becoming a woman who naturally commands respect doesn't mean you have to fight for it. It means your energy makes it automatic. High-value energy isn't a role you play while dating. It's a way of living. It shows in how you care for yourself every day. So how do you maintain that energy, especially when situations feel difficult? When emotions are strong, patience is low, or you're tempted to fall back into old patterns? First, control your emotions before responding. A high-value woman doesn't act on impulse. She pauses, reflects, and responds intentionally. That brief pause can shift everything. Whether it's a late reply, a confusing message, or something upsetting, your strength lies in your calm. Holding back isn't coldness, it's power. Second, start each day by grounding yourself in your values. Speak them aloud, write them down. Remind yourself, I don't chase love, I don't explain clear boundaries, I don't shrink to please anyone. The more you repeat this, the more it becomes who you are. Because this energy isn't a trick, it's a habit, a lifestyle, a trained mindset. Next, examine what surrounds you. Are your friends, conversations, or social media feeding insecurity or peace? High-value energy cannot survive in low-vibe spaces. Protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Choose carefully what you allow in. Fill your world with content and people that affirm your worth, not question it. Also, Stop explaining your standards to those determined to misunderstand them. When you feel like defending yourself, pause and ask, do I need to be understood or respected? Long explanations don't build respect. Actions aligned with values do. Walk in your standards. Let people either meet you there or step aside. Either way, you remain grounded. Practice emotional detachment daily. Let go of the need to control everything. What flows naturally stays. What resists teaches. When you believe this, your body relaxes. You feel safe in yourself. You realize alignment doesn't need chasing. It needs trust. Above all, keep repeating this truth. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Your only task is to keep remembering it. That is the essence of high-value energy. It doesn't come from how others treat you, but from how you treat yourself when no one is watching. The way you speak to yourself, the standards you maintain even under pressure, the grace you hold even when your heart feels heavy. Being high value isn't about always being right. It's about consistency. It's the discipline to stand in your worth, even when giving in feels easier. Every time you choose peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and self-respect over desperation, you rewrite your story. Here's your final reminder. You don't need to do more to deserve love. You don't need to beg, bend, or break yourself to be noticed. You simply need to remember who you are and act accordingly. Move with calm, lead with confidence, protect your peace, and walk with that quiet strength that says, I'm not for everyone, but I will always be true to myself. That is your power. That is what makes you unforgettable.